Tonight we're at the Wayne County Public Library, where historian Marty Cheddar of the Public Library will be presenting a program about baseball. Baseball is very important here in Wayne County. We've had several major players go into the sport from right here in Wayne County. Tonight we're going to see artifacts, we're going to hear people talking, we're going to just have a good old time talking about baseball, the American pastime.
The next on our list, one other thing about these banners. One point, I'm going to talk about Marion, Talton, but all the banners we have, the images, they're all the beginning of their career, when they're all young, life straight ahead. Jerry actually only played 1 year with the Yankees, so that's the very first year in 1979.
We would have never guessed they were young.
Yeah. Thank you, Marion.
You look like you did when you were in high school.
He grew up in the Nahana area, Pikeville. I guess lives in Pikeville now. Went to Nahana High School. He played at East Carolina 1 year, 1958. I guess 59 season.
58. Yeah, it's 58.
Mm-hmm. And he was all a really good hitter, real power hitter. There's some really great articles on his board that we let me borrow from the scrapbook. We're actually getting two of his scrapbooks digitized through Carolina as well as actually Ray Scarborough. That'll be in the works as well. That'll be on our webpage in the near future. But anyway, Marion, he played a lot of community teams, these semi-pro teams, like this, not this far back, but in the mid-50s, stuff like that, Pinckney area, Nahana. And then he went to college, played at ECU, and then he was signed I believe, in 1959.
59, yeah, 1959.
Okay, with the San Francisco Giant organization. He played minor league ball for about 7 years. There was one point where he was told that he wouldn't make it to the major leagues. That was always a motivation. In baseball, provided an opportunity. He was out of the fields, was way to make some money. He had to have talent, but there's a lot of factors involved with it. And it's a grueling way, but he made it. So he got to play with the Kansas City Athletics for 2 years, from 1966-67. Along the way, some of his teammates, he was actually a roommate with Catfish Hunter. People who know that name, Hall of Famer. He played with Vita Blue, Rick Monday, Bert Campaneris, and actually, Reggie Jackson was on one of those teams. He was a catcher. So this is an actual mitt that he used in some major league games. So his first home run that he hit, I guess he hit two major league home runs, and the first one he hit was at Yankee Stadium in 1966 off Mel Stoudemire. So that's a big thrill. And for a lot of these guys, the first major league game was actually attending a game was in a game, which makes a lot of sense. This is a pretty rural area. The closest team at that time, Atlanta came later. Atlanta met
Senators.
it would have been DC. That's right. Yeah, DC. It wasn't as easy to get to games, I guess. So anyway, this is a glove. You may talk about it in just a second.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I don't know to talk about the glove, but Miss could do it. Now, let me tell you something about what baseball is really about, and that's playing with Charlie Finley. He had some good things. He had some, off the wall things, whatever. He had a mascot by the name of Charlie O, and he just happened to be a mule. And anytime anybody hit a home run, he'd ride around the park. But the mule probably got treated better than we did. Because these are true stories. We go into New York, and Blue Moon Owen was the pitcher. Here was a space marked off over here with rope around it and some straw on the floor. Guess who was in the hotel? Charlie O, the mule. And Odo said, "That gone." I've seen everything now. I said, the season ain't over. And it wasn't. We went out to the ballpark one day, and Alvin Dart was our manager, and he said, all of you need to be on the field at 7 o'clock. The game time was 7:30. I said, what's going on? He said, boys, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to sing happy birthday to Charlie O. Put the mule on the mound, 25 officers, happy birthday. Well, I want to emphasize what Marty said. Look, that's a hard road, every one of them. If they were here tonight, it's a tough road, hard road. You know, God looked after me. Because I came home too. Because I played AAA 3 years. I'd done all I knew what to do. And I came home, and I got a phone call. They said, would you consider going to Mobile, Alabama and play AA? I said, sure. They said, well, we're going to get ready to catcher down here. And until then, we want you to play left field. I said, oh. I said, I can commit suicide here in Wayne County. I said, who you got playing center field? They said, Rick Mundy. And he was out of Arizona State. They just gave him about $125,000. I said, Rick, I'm playing 20 feet from the line. You got all the rest. But, you know, Charlie was good. He gave me the opportunity to play. One other thing I want to mention. This guy right here, Robinson, George probably didn't go through as much, but this bothered me then, and it bothers me now. I didn't have any problem with it. I played my first year in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and next year in Springfield. Then I went to the Texas League. And we were on a road trip, the very first one. The guy sitting beside of me, he had played before. And I said, we're kind of off the beaten path here. You know, what's going on? He said, oh, forgot to tell you. We got to come down here and drop our black players off. I said, what? Texas wouldn't allow them to stay in the hotel. Bothers me then, bothers me now. This is what some of these guys went through. I'm telling you. And it wasn't right. I said, look, these are my friends. They're my buddies. They're my pals. They're my teammates. But that's just the way it was. One other thing tonight, there's one more believer, and that's my wife. Let's tell you a little something about this girl playing in the minor leagues. She drove from the Hunter to Tacoma, Washington, with that boy 1 year old and his sister 3 years old. She sure did. And I said, boy, I'm waiting for her to tell me, why don't you give this up and get a real job? But she never did. She was a trooper, you know. She really was. I reckon my greatest feat was hitting my first home run in Yankee Stadium. Well, Marty's already mentioned it. And it was just a God gift from, I was on my way home. No, one other story. I was on my way home. I've been in AAA 3 years, and that's when I went to Mobile. And I'd never played close to home. I was always out there. Mobile was the closest I ever played, but we did come into Charlotte and Nashville. So I got her to meet me with 2 kids there, and we were going back to Mobile, finish out the season. That was it. You know, I'd had enough. And we played, played in Charlotte, went to Asheville. John McNamara was the manager who later managed the Red Sox. And he said, after the game, he said, Tim, come here. I said, oh, we ain't even going to get a chance to go back to Mobile. We're going home. And he said, I got a call a while ago, and they want you in Baltimore tomorrow. I said, boy, that was good. And then I happened to think, that ain't so good, because that woman just packed up 2 kids. And I got an apartment in Mobile, but, you know, it worked out. And, you know, she was a trooper, real trooper. And I'm proud of her. Thanks, guys.
How many people here are familiar with the baseball field in the Hunter? Back in the days when Marion played and when I played for Fremont. But he hit a ball at the Hunter ballpark that I've never seen anybody ever. The last time I saw it, it was still going over the gym, across the Pinckney Road. Now everybody just sitting there looking. I've never seen a ball hit that ball.
Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for your internotes as well. A couple other quick things. Marion was, he played first base in the only triple play for Kansas City Athletics baseball history, 1967?
66.
66, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Kid from Wayne County. And then also he played many years in the 7 years in the minor leagues, and he played in the there weren't many players that made all-star teams, but he played on 2 all-star teams in the minor leagues in AA. And 1 year was when he was in the Texas League. They played down in Mexico City. The Texas League team played.
Yeah, there was two leagues. There was Mexican League and AA team in the Texas League. The first part of July we went down there, and the second part of July they came up here, and then they picked an all-star game. And this guy in Mexico City hand painted this and done a tremendous job.
Which is pretty neat. If he did this for every single person, if you really look closely, everything's hand painted, all the names and logos and all that. So that's kind of neat.
Let me say one more thing about my owner, Charlie Finley. I think you would get a kick out of this. He was the first one to come out with the, real loud uniforms, and of course that caught on for a while. And he wanted us to wear them. We opened them up on the road, and we had gold, green socks. Oh, you can't imagine. And somebody said, "Who's the first one going to be out in the dugout?" I almost believe we were at Yankee Stadium, but I'm not for sure, And about 8 or 10 of us had got out there on the field, and a guy up there, I think he'd already had about 8 or 10 beers, and he said, "Hey, y'all at the wrong place." Said, "This ain't girls softball."
Then we can just mill around, talk to people and stuff like that. This item, there's a gentleman I got to know who went to Dillard High School, Ernest Loftin. He ran, I believe he worked with the rescue services here, and then he also ran Loftin Studios, photography studio. He got interested in photography as a young man in the late 60s, something like that. Learned to develop film, and then ended up getting his own studio. That was a part-time business. So he had some absolutely fantastic photographs. In the early 50s, he finished Dillard High School in 1954. But before that, in the early 50s, he was in the Webb-town area, which is, I guess, Elm Street, Slocum Street. It was kind of the Webb-town community. This is a uniform from the early 50s that he and his neighborhood kids, wasn't really an organized league, but what's really neat about it is, you got to think as young kids, they got together, raised money, I guess collected cans and bottles, stuff like that, paid for their own uniforms, and then they would call up kids around the community, different areas, Snow Hill, Mount Olive, north, I guess the north end they call it, different parts of Goldsboro to play teams, play against each other. And so this is his uniform from the early 50s, which is an absolutely fantastic shape. Here's a picture of him wearing it, which is kind of neat. And the other cool thing is, as a kid, he told me, and this is just the kids, the youthfulness of kids being kids. They ran out of, actually in 1954, the minor league park got torn down from Hurricane Hazel. Got destroyed. That was here where the Gold Bugs used to play. And that's the area where they used to play in. So they actually, when it got destroyed, they actually talked to a man that had property with the old fairgrounds, I guess. It used to be somewhere near the railroad area, and they went and asked for permission, and they built their own field. Well, thanks so much for everyone coming tonight, for sharing things. Let people know, I mean, this is going to be a fun project, again, ongoing. And actually, we're going to model how the Baseball Hall of Fame, how they document the national game, you know, through culture and minor leagues and Negro leagues and all that, and we're going to do that here through the library. It's going to be fun. There's absolutely fantastic history. Endless stories. We'll do some oral history interviews. Start with Marion and George Whitfield and some others like that. Anyway, this is great. I guess that's about it.
Let's give Marty a big hand.